Let's talk about something huge. For most of us, a paid off home is the biggest thing we'll ever own. It's decades of work, it's security, it's a legacy. But what if I told you that entire legacy could just evaporate, swallowed up by legal fees and government claims after you're gone? Well, today we are breaking down the 6 specific critical documents that act as a shield for your home, making sure it gets to your family, not the system. This quote from our source material really says it all, doesn't it? The difference between success and failure here isn't about how much money you have. It's about having the right paperwork. It's about preparation. The stakes are literally the entire value of your house, and it all boils down to these few key pieces of paper. So, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the 2 big threats that put your home at risk. Then, we'll walk through the specific tools to fight back, from simple deeds to superpowered trusts. We're even going to cover one document that can save you money while you're alive, reveal the one little page that makes the whole thing work, and then wrap it all up with a clear step-by-step action plan.
All right, let's start with the problem. Why is a paid-off home even in danger? I mean, you own it, right? Well, it turns out there are 2 powerful forces just waiting to take a piece of that equity before your family ever gets a chance.
Okay, on one hand, you've got probate court. This is the default system, and trust me, it's a nightmare. It's slow, it's public, and it is expensive. Lawyers and court fees just start chipping away at your home's value. Then, on the other hand, you've got this thing called Medicaid estate recovery. If you ever need long-term care that Medicaid pays for, federal law says the state has to try and get that money back from your state. And guess what their #1 target is? Yep, your house. These are the 2 giants we're up against. So, how do we start fighting back? Well, the first line of defense is actually pretty simple. It's all about using a special type of deed. You can think of these as a legal shortcut, a secret passage that lets your home sneak right past probate court. But, and this is important, it really depends on where you live. First up, we have the Ladybird deed. This thing is kind of like magic. While you're alive, you have total control. You can sell the house, refinance it, do whatever you want. But the second you pass away, boom, ownership instantly transfers to whoever you named. It completely avoids probate. And here's the kicker. In the states that allow it, it also shields the home from Medicaid estate recovery. It's the whole package.
And look at this. This is why it's so powerful. Our source gives a pretty common example. A widow in Florida needs nursing home care, and Medicaid pays out over $150 grand. Without a Ladybird deed, the state puts a lien on her house for that full amount. But with the deed, that claim is zero. The cost to file that piece of paper was maybe $800. The return on investment is, well, the entire house.
Now here is the catch, and it's a big one. This amazing tool is only available in these 5 states. That's it. If you live somewhere else and try to file one, it's not just that it won't work, it can actually create a huge legal mess for your family down the road. So if you're in one of these states, you're in luck. If not, don't worry, we've got another option. For a lot of the country, the tool you'll use is a transfer on death, or TOD deed. It's available in roughly 30 states, and its main job is the same as the Ladybirds. You name a beneficiary, and when you pass, the property goes straight to them. No probate court, no long delays, no expensive legal fees. It's a fantastic way to dodge the court system. But, and this is a huge but, here's the critical difference. A TOD deed is not a guaranteed shield against Medicaid coming to collect. While it solves the probate problem, the laws in many states still allow them to go after assets even if they skip court. So you've solved one problem, but the other, potentially bigger problem might still be lurking. For that, you often need to bring out the heavy artillery. And that brings us to the next level of protection, when a simple deed just won't cut it, especially when we're trying to protect against those massive long-term care costs. We move into the world of trusts. This is the ultimate asset shield. The most common kind is a revocable living trust. The easiest way to picture it is like a legal box. You create this box and you put your stuff in it, your house, your bank accounts, whatever. You still control everything inside the box while you're alive. Then, when you're gone, the person you picked just opens the box and hands things out. No court, no judge, no problem. It works in every state. But there's a massive pitfall. And here it is. This is where so many plans fall apart. You can have the fanciest trust in the world, but if you don't actually put the house in the box, it's useless. You have to formally sign a new deed that transfers ownership from you to the trust. If you skip this one step, that expensive trust is just a pile of paper, and your house is heading straight back to probate court.
Now, that revocable trust we just talked about, it solves the probate problem, but not the Medicaid problem. Why? Because you still control the assets. To solve the Medicaid problem, you need an irrevocable trust. The key word is right there in the name. Irrevocable. Once you put your house in this trust, it's not legally yours anymore. You've given up control. And since you don't own it, Medicaid can't touch it. But there is a catch. There's a ticking clock. Federal law has a 5-year look-back period. When you apply for Medicaid, they look at every financial move you've made for the last 5 years. If you moved your house into that trust 4 years ago, it doesn't count. The protection only kicks in after that 5-year clock has fully run out. This is exactly why you have to plan ahead, way before you think you'll ever need care.
Okay, everything we've talked about so far is about protecting your home after you're gone. But what about a document that puts money back in your pocket right now, this year and every year after? It's often called a senior property tax freeze or a homestead exemption. In about 30 states, when you turn 65, you can file a simple form with your county and they will lock in the assessed value of your home. So even if the market goes crazy and your neighbor's house doubles in value, your property tax bill stays put. But here's the thing, it's not automatic. You have to file the paperwork yourself. And the savings can be staggering. I mean, look at that number. For someone who lives in their home for another 15 or 20 years, we're talking about a potential savings of over $40,000, all from filling out a single piece of paper that usually doesn't even cost anything to file. That is real money that stays in your bank account. So we've built this incredible fortress around your home. We've got deeds and trusts all set up, but there's one final document, one little piece of paper that's like the master key to the whole thing. And without it, that fortress can still come crashing down. So let me ask you this. You've done everything right. You got a trust. You even remembered that crucial step of putting the house into it. Your family is totally protected, right? The answer, amazingly, is no, not yet. All that perfect planning can still get jammed up in legal red tape without this one last document. This is the linchpin. It's called a certification of trust. Here's what happens. When your kid goes to sell the house from the trust, the title company is going to say, hey, prove you're allowed to do this. This 1 or 2-page document is that proof. It's a sworn statement that says, yes, I'm in charge, without them having to read your entire private trust document. And this table just lays it all out. Without that piece of paper, your family might have to go to court, which can take months and cost thousands of dollars just to get a judge's permission to sell, all while mortgage payments and taxes are piling up. With the certification, they hand it over, and the house can be sold in a week for about a $50 filing fee. I mean, the difference is just night and day. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. You know the threats, and now you know about the 6 documents that can protect you. So the big question is, what do you do now? How do you turn all this knowledge into real-world protection? Here's your 4-step plan. Number 1, find a qualified elder law attorney, not just any lawyer. You need a specialist. Number 2, schedule that meeting now, before there's a health crisis and that 5-year clock starts ticking against you. 3, show up prepared. Bring your current deed, your tax bill, and a list of who you want to inherit. And finally, number 4, just walk through this list with them. Ask which of these 6 tools are the right ones for you, in your state. This is not a DIY project. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. The difference between a plan that works and one that fails isn't just a little bit of money. It's not a minor headache. It is, quite literally, the entire value of your house. This isn't something to put on a to-do list for someday. The time to protect your legacy is right now.